Hey everyone, this is part 3 now of connecting Adalo and Supabase together. I hope the first two parts were very easy and simple for you to follow. I think it was pretty fast, but at the same time, it's not that complex of what we did. There's a lot more work in terms of, setting up all your tables and making sure all your fields are right. That's the more complicated part. I wanted to tell you the pros and cons of doing this and some things to be aware of. First thing is, if you were not paying attention earlier, you cannot reset a Supabase password using Adalo, okay? So if you're only going to have an Adalo app, you do not have a web app, as of right now, this just will not work for you. So you can stop the rest of the video. The pros to this are if you are using, if you're going to do this, you have a web app, or you maybe in the future the Supabase team changes this so that there is a way to change a password. But since you're using a web app, what I mean to say is this is a great way to store your data between the two. So you're not tied to any one system, and I think there's a lot of benefits to that. If you're using Bubble and Adalo, then it's kind of like which one should you use? There's not really a best case scenario for either of them. I would say you probably want your information in Bubble, but if you know SQL, you very well might want to keep your information in Supabase because it's a lot more powerful for what you personally could do. If you know JavaScript, then you might feel more inclined to use Bubble. And you could use Bubble as a web app to reset a password as well. If you have a custom web app or anything else, then I think that you'd really love using this as a backend. It gives you all the benefits of both worlds. You don't have to go build a third database, and you can use this and tie it to your Adalo database. It also means that if you ever leave Adalo or any other platform that you're on, you're taking your data with you. It's not stuck in Adalo or somewhere else. So that's another reason why we love using this. The other big reason that people are going to come to this is when you have a significant number of records. This is where you'd begin to want to store them. It's going to be faster and easier to use than Adalo. It's designed for millions and millions of records. So if you have things that's extremely transactional, heavy data messaging, things like that, then you would also want to look at using Supabase. We've used this, we've integrated this with Bubble, we've integrated this with Builder, we've integrated it with Adalo, we've integrated it with DraftBit. It really works anywhere you need it to. I really love the SQL side of it, the way the queries work, and that you can also build stored procedures on here. And I'm not really going to get into that, but you can have triggers that fire as information is added or deleted or updated. There's a lot, it's a very powerful platform. The cons to using Supabase is one, it's a startup, so not everything you'd imagine is there. They have a great community, and I think they're pretty open about what they're doing and how they're doing it. But you do not have all the power you might have if you use Firebase, for instance, which is the big legacy leader in this industry. And it's also another integration. So let's just be honest that if you have a simple app, you should definitely not be over-engineering it using this. Even some of our very large apps in Adalo, we use the Adalo database because it's just smarter. I already talked about passwords, so I'm not going to re-hit that. The next one I will say is it's very difficult to use user-generated images here, okay? Because you don't have a way to really upload them into Supabase from Adalo. You can store them in Adalo and then reference them. How you do that, it could be kind of complex. It's up to you though. That's a possibility. The other option is that you can manually load things in here, but you would not do that for user-generated images because the users would be loading it, right? So that is definitely a kind of pitfall, so to speak. I think that's really it. So in short, I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial. I'm sure a lot of you have questions about this. Do ask below. Supabase has a lot of materials and guides. If you go and you just look around their website, they have guides for pretty much everything. They have API reference guides. They have a Discord channel. There's on GitHub, they're very, very active with discussion and questions. So do go through this information first. If you're not familiar with SQL, you probably want to go look at SQL. If you're not familiar with JOT tokens or API calls, there's a lot of information around the web around that. It's kind of a lot if it's your first time ever doing anything like this. But if you do have questions, let me know. I will be hopefully making more videos while I'm here in Portugal over the next week. And I think next up we will do a Firebase one in terms of external data storage. Cheers. Thanks for watching.